Virgo Virgo talk.
Brought to you by Body Yoni Essentials and Less Nobody's Business. Because
Hey,
it's nobody's business.
yeah, it is.
Today we are um, going to learn about the Seminoles.
Yeah, I learned so much. There is a lot of information on the Seminoles and the Black Seminoles. It was great to be here.
Yeah, yet another tribe who are not originally called the Seminoles and derived from different tribes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the Seminoles themselves are actually from the Creek tribe, right? Did you get the same information?
Yeah, the Creek from Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. And when you get into the story of the Creeks, they actually come from like Canada somewhere. Originally, they were like the Dene people, but that's another episode for another day.
Hold on, because we just talked about the Dene people in the last episode.
I know, but we got a Creek episode coming up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's also what is it? The Seminoles, the Chickasaw, and hold on, I don't want to lie to you because I was about to make something up.
Mm.
Um, it's another one. It's gonna come to me once my eyeballs find it on my paper.
The Muskogee,
But the Muskogees were more so the
Miko,
Black Seminoles.
Musuki. My bad.
Yeah, those are the Black Seminoles, right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say.
the creeks were joined by the Miccosukee and the Apalachicolas, basically from the Appalachian Mountains over here and by the
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
and those were the Black Seminoles. Am I
Mm-hmm.
echoing it to you?
Not to me, no.
You know what? We're gonna get through this technology thing.
You're echoing.
To me,
You have on Bluetooth.
nope,
Hmm.
it's all right.
Where's your? Well, never mind. That was gonna be a silly question. Where's your podcast microphone?
No, I'm on my phone. I ain't, if I would have did it on my laptop, we definitely would have been having this problem. My laptop be doing the most. It start being like, "Oh, you try to do a whole bunch of stuff." Like I need my desktop for stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all right. I'll be back in Jersey for the rest of my thing.
So, um, the Seminoles they had emerged in the late 1700s, um, migrating from the Creek Muskogee people,
Yes,
fleeing from the European enroachment. Enroachment is it's a hell of a
interesting
word.
word.
In Georgia and Alabama, and they settled in Florida and formerly, which was the land of the Appalachee and the Timucua. That's the other tribe you were looking for, Timuca,
Yes, thank you.
Timucha. Hmm. Yeah. They had merged with escaped African Americans and other Native survivors from the distinctive Seminole identity. So I guess that's how you got the black ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before that, weren't nobody black in the tribe. Basically, I guess is what they say.
Yeah, there was like you seen the pictures I sent you. Unfortunately, we can't be on here and I post pictures at the same time, which is wild work, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Um,
I have some pictures here. I could probably flip my camera, maybe, possibly.
I'm here.
Oh no, they blur out the damn pictures. Gosh darn it. Y'all, well, audience, you're going to have to independently look up, Google the Seminole pictures. And I think if we try to post it, I think they'll probably take them down. They'll probably remove them anyways. They'll flag our video,
You
right?
know what, folks? I got something for you. I'm gonna post them on the Virgo Virgin Talk YouTube page. Maybe y'all can see them. We'll see what happens.
So you're not on Virgo Version Talk right now?
Yeah, we are. but I got more. I got two phones.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Um, yeah, in continuance.
So yeah, supposedly, okay. So those Seminoles, if you look at the photographs, they do look like the other, I guess, Mexican quote unquote looking Seminoles. And apparently, like you said, they came down from what was it? I have like South Georgia and to North Florida. Like you said, the former Appalachia and Temecula went with them. They didn't call themselves Seminole until 1775, which means separatist,
yeah,
or runaway. And then there was another word for it that was close to like Samaran, which was supposed to be like an insult for hey John, which was supposed to be an insult for like savage type of
yeah, it
word.
meant wild. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then the Seminoles are actually broken into 8 clans. The clans are panther, bird, wind, bear, deer, big town, which is toad, snake, and otter. And so, they had some sense with the clans where, like, they weren't allowed to date within the clan because everybody within the clan, it was a matrilineal tribe. Like we've noticed, all the Native American tribes were matrilineal. So, like, everybody in the tribe was related to the same woman. So they would have to leave the tribe to find the person that they want to be with. Of course, when the man marries a woman, then he would move into the woman's tribe, and the children would come into the women's home because the women owned the house and the property.
So I guess that ain't so bad nowadays, huh? Hmm.
Nah, it was safe there, and that's fun. Um, Also, no clan was more important than the other, so they had like a sense of equality there.
No clan was over the other one. Okay.
Yeah, they were all equal, so it wasn't like you were marrying into a certain caste system or anything. It was just, you want to be Hufflepuff or whatever.
Okay, okay. Um, let's see, their spiritual and cultural practices. Um, they had a green corn dance or a busk, and it was usually held in the late summer, and it marks the harvest, the purification, renewal, and the community socialization. And then they also had a hunting dance, which was held in October, which is honors traditional hunting pursuits. And the dances, along with the stump dances and symbolically themed animal rituals, like the alligator snake, anchored the Seminole spiritual life. They had music, traditional music, which they utilize hand drums. I've never heard of a water drum before. Flutes and uh, rattles. Now,
Hmm.
water drum was pretty interesting because I was like, what is a water drum? I've heard of a steel drum, snare drum, bass drum, bongos, what have you. Never a water drum. Have you heard of a water drum before?
Is it legit water in it, or is it giving that water sound?
I have no idea. You know that thing that makes the rain sound? It's like a funnel, a tube or whatever, and you
Oh,
just
that thing?
dang. I
Oh,
don't think that's what it is
oh,
because
okay.
that's not a drum. I think that's something else. I don't know what that is.
I like it.
I like it too because it makes the rain noise. We used to have it in our music class. It was so interesting when we used to make like the different sounds or whatever. Which was,
Agreed.
I believe that's essentially the sounds that they made as well.
Mhm.
Hmm. And when they said stumping, I'm thinking they were doing the rain dance. I don't know why.
That's valid.
So the water drum. Okay. Why are they showing me a keg? A plastic keg. That's not a water drum. Not the water drum I'm looking for. Water drum instrument, please. Oh, just exactly what I thought was what I thought about. A
What is
steel
it?
drum. The steel drum.
Oh, okay.
But hold on, you sure it's a steel drum?
Oh, like one
Okay,
of
so
those like
basically,
calypso drums, because there's different names for those different kind of drums. They don't all have the same name.
right. Okay, so it was like a bowl or a basin, and it had like this rounded other part to it, or another bowl that was face down, and they filled it with water, and they, hit it with like some little gongs or whatever. Um, it looked like a drinking gourd, like a goblet or something, like a big goblet, and it had like another
Ooh,
bowl on the inside, upside down in it. Hmm.
okay.
Yes, but that's pretty nice. The
I see, I see.
calabash, water drums calabash. There we go. I want to see how it sounds. Let me see if I can play one on YouTube. This is a pretty interesting instrument. Each tribe has something interesting that they invented, as far as like with a tool or an instrument.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely did have like a lot of different kind of tools. So they made their spears with like flint or bone. They had cane tips. Their war clubs had shark teeth in them. And then they, of course, had the bow and an arrow. You know, they were into pottery and stuff. They wore bright color clothes. I actually like their clothes. I'm pretty sure the men of today would like their clothes as the men were wearing colorful skirts until they were quote unquote civilized.
Oh, the men of today will enjoy wearing the skirts.
Yeah, they would it seemed like they're trying to get back to the skirt wear.
Yeah, they might need to.
And they might need to. It might change their mood if they had them skinny jeans on their clothes all day.
You're right, because containing all that in that little space, it can't be comfortable.
Mm-mm. That's why they be so angry. Gotta chain smoke blunts all day. Pants too tight.
Yeah, just loosen your pants.
Yep. Pretty much.
I respect a man who does commando style.
Okay, here we go. Here's on my notes. So the Seminoles were the Yuki, the Yamasi, the Tequesta, the Appalachian, Choctaws, and Chickasaws. Which I found pretty interesting because, I mean, I don't want to get into racism here because racism didn't occur until like 1775, and they didn't start implementing that until like even later in the 1700s with like separating the native tribes by the phenotypes. So we got into that rabbit hole last episode when we talked about the photography. The photography for the first, hold on, I wrote that on the corner so I wouldn't even miss that. What was the last episode? The Navajos, right?
The Navajos, yes.
By my Navajo note. But the photography for the last Native American tribe wasn't until like 18 something, where they were already 1853, which they were already well into racism. So that's why we see a lot of the photos that we see now, they're not going to have the combined uh people. You're gonna see them separated. You're gonna see the phenotype separated. These are the black Seminoles, these are the regular Seminoles or whatever. And you see that obvious, like you guys look like Athabascans versus and I think both of those rhetorics or narratives are to get us to one look at each other like two different people because I paid attention to the last Black Panther movie, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But one convinces that we are from different heritages, and two also convince both of us that we're not from here, where you're telling them that they came on a Bering Strait and walked here somehow. And then you're telling us that we came here on a boat.
Yeah, they want. Well, to me, what I'm gathering, what I'm thinking is like it still leads all back to they were enslaved Africans that only became a part of the tribe. That's the only way that like they were indigenous beings here is by they came on the boat through slavery, escaped, and got adopted into a tribe.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know 100% because I look forward to getting into the episode of the Gullah Geechee and the rise of the Moors to get more into that. I can't wait to go down those rabbit holes so I can have like a better conversation in this period of time. In the same
Mm-hmm.
breath,
Mm-hmm.
we were already on this land far, far before 1775, and they didn't
Yep.
start bringing boats over here till what?
15 something.
They brought boats over here in the 1500s.
I want to say 1500s, maybe 1495. Somebody, I don't know, but I mean, me and
1619.
1519 or
16.
1619.
Yeah, see, that's not even. That doesn't even make sense. Anyway, especially when we got into the conversation of the Olmecs and the
Mm-hmm.
Aztecs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that don't even make sense to say that like we wasn't already here.
Yeah.
1619 is crazy word.
Yeah, it is crazy work. Shit, it was only like what? It's still 400 years ago.
They still be counting to 400. Like,
It's
I
still
mean,
400 and
it's
okay,
always going to
500
be
years
400
ago.
years.
It
You know
still
what
was
I think?
500 and fucking the fucking you said 1619.
Yeah.
500 and fucking 6 years ago.
No, that's 400 because
Oh.
400 plus 1619 is
Oh damn.
2019.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, yeah. 400 and
What do
damn.
we?
We've been on this 400 years for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Can't get off of it.
Mm. Child.
Crazy word.
It is. I'm
So what
saying
did we
like they
do
didn't
that was
start
so
documenting
significant
this
in
shit until then.
2019?
Huh?
I said, so did slavery end in 2019?
2019?
Yeah, because we were slaves for 400 years.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've been in this 400 year shit for a minute. I mean, am I math in the math? Am I doing the math right?
Yeah, the math is correct. And then, like, technically, y'all wasn't even running nothing because y'all wasn't established until 1776.
Mm. So it really is 200, 300 years?
Y'all was just over it. It was really war. It was really just trying to get control of the land. And even in the 1600s, like, I like stories, individual Native American stories like this because it pulled people away from the generalized statements and mindsets over like the experiences of the tribe. Baby, these natives was fighting well into the 18 early 1900s.
Mm.
They was given a fight. These people could not be enslaved. Like more so, not so much the Seminoles. In fact, the Seminoles were having a hard time. They lived in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Mississippi for 12,000 years. When they moved down to Florida, somehow, someway, they suddenly having a hard time living. And I think that's because of the separation and re-education or whatever. That's my take on that. But they didn't have a good time. They were having a hard time settling on the land. So when the Black Seminoles came down, which were the Muskegees and the Maroons, right? You got the
Yeah.
American Indian blacks, you got the black Muskogee, you got the Seminole Freedmen, and then you got the black Indians. This is how they were separated. And then you got the Seminole Scouts. So when the black Seminoles came down there, they were helping out. It was easier for them to build on the land and all that stuff like that. And out in Florida, slavery was abolished in Spanish Florida in 1693. So they had been free.
Good for them. That's good. Oh wow.
But the Spanish were going to war with the British the whole time too.
Mm-hmm.
So by 1763, the Spanish surrendered Florida to Britain. They gave in.
Okay, yeah, because they couldn't have their slaves fighting the war with them. Because the slaves like, hell nah, fight a war with y'all bitches. Y'all got us damn in fucking forced servitude. I don't think so.
Well, actually, the Seminoles were good. The Seminoles would take in the Black Seminoles, because at this point, I guess everybody was cool with the separation and the division between the two. Um, I guess this is where we get this is like Willie Lynch letter energy right here.
I
Um,
thought they turned them in. I thought they turned them in when they found
no,
South
it
Africa.
was the Creeks that turned them in. The Seminoles were cool. The Seminoles, especially the Seminoles in Spanish. In fact, you know how they always talk about, oh, people were running away to the north. People were actually running away to Florida because one, slavery was already abolished. Two, when the Seminoles did have the slaves, they treated them well. They were allowed to have their own property. They were allowed to own weapons, and they were allowed to hold on, what was it? They definitely were allowed to have their own homes and they were in charge of their own things. The only thing they had to do was provide, like, with their labor, they only had to provide a percentage of their production to the Spanish and the Seminoles. That was it. And that was slavery in Florida.
Hmm.
Not saying that
Okay.
that's, good, but like compared to watching Roots and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it does here. It does say here on my notes that they did flee to the south. Hmm. They
but
formed in
the,
18th century. Hmm.
Yeah, well, they had to live in a separate communities. They weren't to live with the actual Seminoles, which I think was, the
Segregation.
beginning of that breeding of y'all keep breeding amongst yourselves. So now y'all are creating this phenotype that we're now calling a race. And now we're breeding
Hmm.
amongst ourselves, creating these phenotypes that's now creating our race. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really what it was when they started splitting up the native tribes like that. They started creating the races that they wanted to see. Kind of like how you do when you're gardening and you're trying to, what is it, that Punnett square shit we learned? When you're trying to get the peas to grow tall or whatever, so you only put the tall ones with the tall ones.
Oh, the shit, the dominant and recessive type of shit.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, because if you keep oh, I guess if you keep mixed breeding, you know,
If you keep misbreeding, eventually you're gonna get back to black, which is something they were preventing, but it's still happening because now they need it to preserve themselves. Like, see, racism didn't work, did
it
it?
didn't. It did not. It did not.
Trying to reverse their curses. But they
Um.
did refuse to sell their slaves, and when runaways came, they refused to turn them over to slave hunters and other Indians, which made it like easier for the British to gain more support from the the white Americans to fight against the Spains for Florida because they wanted their slaves back. But when they got them back, they were scared, right? Because the Black Seminoles were allowed to have their own weapons and they controlled their labor. Oh yeah, that's right. They were allowed to control their labor. So they chose when they wanted to work or not work. They just had to make sure they had that percentage ready for, you know, the peoples. Same way we do now. This is modern day slavery. It's literally the same shit. Um,
So I
and
could have
also,
my pistol on me the whole time, or I could have my musket on me the whole time, and
yeah.
still be working with y'all.
Well, apparently that's how well they were treated. And the idea of, okay, we gonna kill you, but it's that mindset of we're on an island. I think I seen this in a movie once. Like it was like, okay, we kill y'all and we run away to where?
Yeah.
It was that kind of mindset. It felt so. It's just like it seemed like a better choice to go along and get along. They were being treated well. They had their freedoms and stuff. Same thing we do now. We're literally slaves, but we're allowed to walk around with our weapons. We're allowed to control our labor if we decide we want PTO or whatever, whatever. And we got to give a certain percentage to a whole bunch of other countries outside of ourselves. This is literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing.
Definitely was.
So
Um.
because the Black Seminoles were so used to being free, the Europeans, the white Americans, and the British were actually afraid to re-enslave them because they were like, these people are so free that they just gonna destroy our plantations. Like they didn't even want them no more.
Y'all wanted them to slave drive the slaves.
They didn't want no sauce because these people they're too free. You couldn't control them. Like there's no controlling them.
Yeah,
Same
they
way
started acting like house
they in
niggas.
Florida now. They cannot be controlled.
Yeah, you definitely can't contain these people. If you give niggas a certain damn amount of power, look what they do. They don't act right.
Mhm.
Well, maybe that's the way we're supposed to act when we have power.
Yeah, it's exactly the way we supposed to act. I don't know why we won't, but it is what it is. You know, I think people gotten so docile, especially with like the generation of drugs, and I feel like there's some like different kind of medications in these enforced vaccinations as well,
Yeah.
and the food, because you know the gut controls the mind. And then when they put, I always think of SpongeBob when Mans was trying to fill them full of chum, and then put the chum buckets on their head. So it was like I'm controlling your gut, but I'm also controlling your mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's they had well, to explain more of their strategic alliance between the relationship of the Seminole and the Black Seminoles. Um, it was mutually beneficial. So the Seminoles, hear me out. They have them separated by Seminoles and Black Seminoles. So Seminoles, they gained, the allies in the war on labor, while the Black Seminoles gained protection and relative freedom. Yay!
What part you talking
They
about?
back to what we were talking about before with the what they gained or whatever, after they conjoined forces.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the Seminoles received the tributes in crops and cattle, and as you explained earlier, that the Black Seminoles lived in independent villages. Um, and also the Seminoles maintained numbers and power and, oh, avoided recapture and enslavement. That's all on the Black Seminole side. Like, they keep putting the emphasis on, like, y'all weren't slaves. Y'all weren't slaves. Y'all were still free.
Mhm.
Um, while not always a relationship of perfect equality, it was radically different and from the brutal conditions where slavery was elsewhere. Um, the Black Seminoles retained autonomy and practiced substance farming and even held leadership roles. Um, I want to move to what their roles were in the war, in the Seminole
Yeah.
Wars. Okay, the Black Seminoles were critical military allies, especially in the Second Seminole War in 1835 to 1842. They knew the landscape and were skilled in guerrilla warfare. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite words. Um, John Horse, which was a leader, aka
Yeah.
Juan Caballo, led the Black Seminole units. Um,
The first war was 1817 to 1818, and it was actually
mm,
Andrew Jackson that led the military, and invaded those territories in Florida. He actually ended up capturing Pensacola, Florida, and seeded it in 1821. Um, some of those Seminoles left Florida for Andros Island and the Bahamas. Those particular Seminoles are called the Black Indians of the Bahamas, and then the other ones were forced to go live in Oklahoma on in the Indian Territory, which I find very interesting because it was a period of time where I wanted to move to Oklahoma, so I was doing a lot of research. And Oklahoma was almost a black state. You know, you have Tulsa, Black Wall Street, but Oklahoma was, so, flooded with black people that it was about to be like I guess a state of its own, like a black owned state of its own. Bless you. But,
mm,
they canned that real quick. Anyway, rewinding it back to 1822. Um,
mm. Wow.
mhm.
Okay, yeah. The U.S. was particularly aggressive in targeting black Seminoles because their example inspired other enslaved people to be free or to
Mhm.
flee, which, of course, threatened the entire Southern slave system. You know, like, oh, wow, yeah, if them niggas can do it, we can do it too, type of shit.
I love it there.
I love it there too. I mean, there is power in numbers. So you
Mhm.
cannot control but so many people, and you have so much fucking ammo and gun, you know, weaponry. You know, you can't kill them all. If you kill them all, then you still don't benefit. I definitely love good slave revolts, though. Well, prisoner of war revolts and
I
throwing
do.
overthrowing the system. Yeah.
There's definitely gonna be
Um.
more of this.
Mhm. What you say, sis?
I said there definitely will be more of this in further episodes.
Oh yeah, because niggas was bucking.
Yeah.
Those give it a little bit of power, and they don't know how to act. So the forced removal, um, thanks to good old Andrew Jackson, many Seminoles, including the Black Seminoles, were forcibly relocated to Indian Territory, modern day Oklahoma, during the 1830s and the 1840s. In Oklahoma, Black Seminoles faced prejudice and attempts to re enslave them by both white settlers and even by some of the native factions. Sounds like Navajos or Apaches, maybe.
Mhm.
hmm And some black Seminoles fled further, going south into Mexico, where slavery was outlawed in 1829. Let me find out Mexico had some slaves there.
Oh yeah, my dad sent me a really good documentary on Mexico and their dealings as far as how they identify as Native Americans and Moors and blacks and things like that. It was very interesting. I'll send that to you. The ones that
Okay.
went to North Mexico, those are called the Black Muskogogis. Muskogogis, I think.
Mm.
And
Muscogis? I
Mus
don't know how to say it.
yeah, Muscogulges.
Yeah.
Yeah, those. And
Yeah.
the ones that ended up in Oklahoma were the Seminole freedmen. So some of you guys that got that freedman on your last name, that's why. And in Texas, it was the Seminole Scouts. And the ones that were, hold on, let me rewind. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Um, and the second, okay, so the Indian Removal Act happened in 1830. That's when the government attempted to move the Seminoles from southeast to, they wanted everybody in Oklahoma. I guess that's why they ended up bombing. It was bigger than Black Wall Street. They were trying to genocide. They done moved everybody to one spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then the second Seminole War was 1835 to 42. And some of those Seminoles agreed to move out of Florida, but some were still in Florida. So they resisted, and that's you, like you said, they had the guerrilla warfare, and then they became under Creek rule in Indian territory. Now the Creeks wasn't good people; they were just as bad as what we see in the I guess the, what do you call it, the Europeans or the British, torturers, um, whatever, slavery. They were
hmm
just as bad. They did stuff like that. And then the whites kept stealing the women and the children from their homes,
Nope.
especially when they
It's
were
about
asleep.
that.
They forced them in schools. So, all the colorful clothing turned into all that brown, tan, beige crap. Men started wearing pants. So, for the men that don't know, you guys wearing pants is actually you being civilized by the Christians. Ha ha.
hmm
Also, being patriarchal and teaching women to be virtuous is also your civilization indoctrination, because just like all the other native tribes we read, they had their freakniks. They had their parties where they would do their mating dances and they would pick somebody, and they were sensual, sexually like liberated people. Um it wasn't about paternity. Like if a woman had a baby and she decided to be with somebody else, then that's what it was. It wasn't all this disrespect. You're not a virtuous woman, baby mom, and don't nobody know that. It was none of that. That was our culture. So the demonization of our culture that we were before the Christians came in is your Christian indoctrination. We was out here living our best life. Okay.
Christianity indoctrination is the one of the heaviest in the world. I can say that is a hell of a spell cast over people.
Yeah, because they don't realize how deep it is. A lot of people like they pretend like they know Native American culture because they only looking at pictures from 1863.
Yeah.
Like these are pictures of cultures during that those indoctrination camps where like the children were being pulled out of the homes, the women were being burnt, or the white men were pretending to fall in love with the native women because the women owned the land, they owned the homes, they owned everything, and they were into politics. So men would pretend to fall in love with them, gas them up, and then try to take their stuff in a divorce because divorces wasn't like stuff on paper or nothing. It was just like I don't want you anymore. Go away. So, they came in with their Christian stuff like, nah, this is how we divorce. This is how we supposed to divorce. Da da da. Now it's patriarchal. Now it's what I say. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, the spell is deep. It's real deep.
For sure.
There was
Uh,
actually, I think it was like three. It was three Seminole wars. The
three
third one
Seminole
was
Wars.
Yeah, the third one was 1855 to 1858. This was after John Horse led the Seminoles to Mexico after the Second War, and that was still like land disputes. It wasn't that many Seminoles left, but they kept going to war with the Seminoles so they can get them all out of there, and they still ain't get them all out of there.
Nope, and that's why they call the unconquered people.
Hmm.
And they
But they
never signed
convinced
a
them they
peace
was
treaty with
niggas.
the United States. They never signed a peace treaty. See, all the other tribes sold out.
Right. I wouldn't sign no treaty with these snakes. They would sign no paper for it. Get on my face.
That y'all made, right?
Yeah, like y'all made it,
And y'all
y'all writing it in
conditions.
cursive. Like y'all not even writing it in print.
Yeah, why you wrote it in curse?
Because they don't want
Yeah,
you to be able to see it. Then their handwriting was dusty. They dripping ink all over the place. Everybody trusting these people. No stinking ass niggas.
they wrote it in cursive because they putting a curse on it. It's a spell,
Hmm.
I think.
It's valid. They did have so. Oh yeah, this is when the Black Seminoles actually went against the Seminoles because during the Seminole War in the early 19th century, the Maroons and the Seminoles were in separate units. Still keeping that separation going, and they fought the U.S. Army to resist the relocation. Blah 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 blah. It was the second Seminole War that was a deterioration of the relationship between the Seminoles and the blacks because the United States offered the Maroons their freedom if they surrendered. So the Maroons was like, we'll get our freedom, if we just, let them whatever. But that's not what happened. So the Seminoles agreed to the Creek Rule in 1845. And that's when they got rid of the rest of the Maroons. Because at this point, the Black Seminoles are now called the Maroons. The Maroons were subjected to Creek slave code, and this prevented them from owning their weapons and their property, and it threatened the existence of their independent community, which comes into the white people just stealing the women and children, and the men, being enslaved and all fun stuff. It wasn't fun.
Ah, here's the beginning of the. Well, here's another part of the Black Code.
Mm,
Hmm.
right, the
Was
Creek
it?
slave codes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a Creek episode coming up, so we're gonna get more into that at some point. And then, so they were tricked by the U.S. government. And the Seminoles felt some type of way too, because it was like, bro, you went with them thinking they was gonna give you your freedom. We was treating you good over here, so now you kind of SOL. Now you got to be with the Creeks in the the U.S. government, which ain't fun. So now y'all black, y'all niggas, y'all coloreds, your Negroes, all that fun stuff.
Mulattoes and all that shit.
Yeah, everything but what y'all supposed to be. So the Mexican government offered the Maroons and the Wildcats. So now the Seminoles have different, they already had their 8 clans, but now you have Wildcat Seminoles. They offered them land in El Morale for watching the Texas Coahuila border, and they were protecting the border from the Comanches and the Apaches.
Mm. Yeah, because there were some that moved down there to near the borders, you like in the west or whatever, near the
Yeah,
border of
that's when we get
Mexico.
into the black cowboys.
Yes,
A great time. They some baddies.
they definitely is. I definitely want to go to a rodeo.
Yes.
I might
Those
we
are the
might we
Seminole
may find
Scouts.
our husbands there.
Yes, we might. I mean, whenever I look into like the Arizona or whatever, I definitely see husbands. I ain't gonna hold you. The Seminole Scouts were in Texas, and the Black Muskogees were the ones in New Mexico. Just a reminder. So these were the ones that went over there and was checking for the border. While they were there, the Maroons actually created a safe space for runaway slaves and free blacks in Mexico. So they still were bringing people south. So I mean, I'm not going to say like, oh, slaves weren't going north or whatever, but I haven't seen anything about the North so much outside of Harriet Tubman, and then, you know, the Underground Railroad and the stations is cool and all, but what if that was the
Wasn't Sojourner
beginning?
Truth born a slave in Maryland or in New York?
I believe so. They had slaves in the North.
Yeah,
They
he
might
did.
have been doing different stuff because it's more industrial in the North,
Hmm.
less, working on outside and stuff, but it was still enslavement.
Yeah, they escaped from working in the field and want to work in a plant on the
What if it was
mills.
never to go north to Canada? What if it was to go south and just the spots they got up here were the beginning rather than the end?
Yeah, maybe they wasn't supposed to stay there.
Because when you think about it, like I don't know too much about the states that are more north than Jersey, but Jersey's history with slaves and the Underground Railroad station. Because the church that I grew up in had a station in the pulpit. And then when you go around where I grew up at, there's a lot of little spots and the Quaker houses and all that stuff like that. It's a lot of little spots out there, and Timbuktu is also out there. And when you get into the history of housing in Jersey, housing the war on housing. So first of all, Jersey doesn't have a homeowners association. Never had one. Never had the subsidizing housing on a state level. And the 1 year where the governor was receiving pressure to finally create one, because there never was one in existence, he gave it to the cities, which started revealing the redlining. And this was only like 2, 3 years ago. Started revealing the redlining of the cities, the sundown towns, and all that. That still exists to some level, which black people already knew, but now I guess everybody else starting to pay attention. Whatever. But it
Right.
just goes to show, like, a lot of the housing and the redlining was mostly a response to the knowledge that there were, Quakers in certain areas, abolitionists in certain areas, and, Underground Railroad stations in certain areas. So they were like, "We're not gonna create this because we don't want y'all to feel comfortable living out here. If we spot a nigga, we gonna catch him."
Hmm. Like they always do.
Mhm.
Uh. Okay, so we get into the survival after the Third War. Let's say U.S. attempts the final removal. A small group of Seminoles hidden deep in the Everglades. They never surrendered. Okay. Seminoles lived remote in the Everglades and Big Cypress Swamp. They maintained their independence, their self sufficiency, and through hunting, farming, and trading. Now, when we get into the 1900s, the adaptation and the economic development of the Seminoles, they were selling crafts, they performed tourist attractions and guide hunting trips and chicky huts, my bad. That's what they lived in, the chicky huts, and the patchwork clothing became symbols of their cultural um, development. And then they started. The tribe was recognized in 1957, recognized by the federal government.
Nobody ever asked for your fucking recognition, bro. Nobody ever asked for your recognition. We never needed it. It means absolutely the fuck nothing. But, it's certain Well, this is my safe space. I don't give a fuck. Moors be pissing me off. They seem like
Hmm.
bootlickers to me some a little bit with how they be going so hard. Like the U.S. flag is ours, and Noble Drew Ali, and Noble Drew Ali, and no, like, bro,
Hmm.
ew. That's what it feel like. Like, ew. Like, get off the floor, pick your crown up off the floor, and relax.
Because if we want to look at the flag, okay, which was in representation of the 13 stripes, which represent the 13 fucking colonies. We look at colonies, which were mainly, predominantly colonizers, okay, that stole the lands, okay,
They
and then
want
you
to
got
claim
this.
everything but their assistance in the enslavement of their own people.
Oh, you don't see them around nowhere in none of these damn in these stories at all.
They never want to talk about it because that's where the real like the supremacy and all that is.
Yeah, you don't hear nothing about their involvement at all. You have to dig deep to find the Moors name being placed anywhere, and I think that is like a contract or, some type of treaty or something that they are in agreement with the federal government and the state governments as well, individually, to not to have their name mentioned, to having their hands in any of this, you know, these events.
Agreed. I always think of they cloned Tyrone. It was a nigga the
Yeah,
whole time.
it was a nigga the whole time. Yeah, they threw a rock and hit their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Kanye said it first too. Just gonna put it down there. You know, my boo already
Yeah,
said he was
because how do you
walking
think these
around
settlers? How do
with
you
the
think these
Confederate
colonists?
shit.
Yeah, how do you think these colonists knew how to get over here? Though you had the Moorish, who were uh, who were
They
in
had
rule
all
in
the maps.
charge. They were
They had
on.
the maps. They had the atlases. They knew how to sail ships. Apparently, they already been here a few times and was doing trading and stuff, and
Hold
already
on,
trying to
we had Moorish chiefs
colonize
in
this land.
1500, 1600, and shit. Were there not Moorish chiefs in Europe?
Yeah,
Were there not
they
Moorish kings and chiefs in Europe?
Moors wasn't moved out of Europe until the 1400s. But even in that same breath, Shakespeare was writing about the Moors. That was Othello was a Moor. Hold
Yeah,
on,
Othello was a Moor. Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Othello was written in 1603, and
right.
that Moor had a prestigious position.
Mac
So,
Macbeth.
so no, Othello.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know Othello. I thought you said Macbeth or something. Yeah, we know for sure Othello was written then. Hmm. Okay, let me look up something real quick because
But yeah, they want to take credit for everything except for the stuff they really need to be admitting to so that we can get the real pieces of our stories together and whatever, whatever. But I know all of that is a ruse to get people to join they temples and they empires and they movements and they organizations. And you got people that is very emotionally invested. And it's a lot of books written on it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of spellings on this to make people attached. And I get it, but my spirit is like, nah. Like I fucks with the people that I've met in those spaces. I like how they carry themselves, you know, and their belief system and all that. I like it, but it's some stuff that's just not clicking historically. It's all right. We got a Moorish episode, you know, coming. So if anybody want to step to the mic,
700 years
more
the
than
Moors
welcome
have
to.
ruled in Europe. 700 fucking years. They say from 711 to 1492.
Yeah. So during the colonial era, the Portuguese were the hmm. I don't know. This is another episode we got. We're gonna get into this episode, y'all. This not this episode.
Hmm.
We gotta go down our rabbit holes before we start talking about this shit for real, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Because
The pieces are coming together though. We see it.
yeah, 'cause these niggas travel, and a lot of the Spaniard settlers. I want to say the Spaniards came over here before any other Caucasian Europeans. I want to say that. And if we look at it, the Moorish, they ruled in Spain, Portugal, Italy, um, and I want to say that the Moors were the Spanish who had the slaves in Florida, or the
Oh,
you
they
know
had the freedom in the Spanish Florida. That makes sense because they still were going to war with the British, and that's when they were trying to get. So yeah, all that stuff could have been happening at the same time. You're absolutely
yeah. I
right.
think they think they just fucking with the timeline of that. Because you mean to tell me like there's no Moors left over from Spain after 700 years of rule? Like ain't no niggas over there. Just pale face goddamn Spaniards.
That's the same thing they try to tell us over here. It's just no Native Americans at all. Now we just got Mexicans and niggas.
Mexican niggas and Caucasians, right?
Right.
Crackers.
But nah, that's because they made up some race labels. It has absolutely nothing to do with our original titles, which was about bloodline. It had nothing to do with all this nationality and all that stuff like that. That nationality stuff was the stuff that they was doing over there in Europe, especially the Moors.
So what about the blacks in Spain today as of today?
It's still Moors over there.
Yeah.
They still over there. And then you got the ones over here, they probably, like you now that you said that, like it probably was the Moors, and then there was other states that were ruled by Spanish, but for the sake of conversation, we just gonna talk about Florida. It was probably some other Moorish ruled properties over
Afro
here,
Spaniard. Oh, they
territories.
call them Afro Spaniards.
Ew, that's ghetto.
I mean, just like
Afro Spaniard. Stop
So
putting
why they don't
Afro in
call them
front of stuff. It's so
Afro
weird.
Seminoles then? Why don't call them Afro Seminoles? Why they call them Black Seminoles?
I don't know. Afro is
Uh,
crazy.
it's a lot of racism in Spain. Oh wow, they had some Spaniards with some blackface on them, but he's dressed
Moor
up as a
wasn't even a
priest.
good term. That's another nigga word.
What?
Moor.
Oh yeah. More means black.
So is Seminole. So is Navajo. Like these is all still like derogatory terms we walking around and being all proud to have. That's weird. We gotta go back. It's not about the names they gave us. It's about our family names. The family names is what's important. That's why the family Bible was important because they like our
They used to have the
ancestors
family
made sure they
trees.
put they made
Hmm.
sure they put their shit into the Bible. Like, we read about it like, oh yeah, they put their African spirituality and they mixed it with the Christianity. Yeah, and they put that in the Bible too and made sure we knew who our families was and stuff like that.
But when we cracked open our Bibles, we didn't pay attention. A lot of us ain't pay attention to that. I want to say.
I wish we
'Cause-
did.
mhm.
I wish the churches cared more, but I know that's why a lot of churches were burnt down because a lot of the churches had our dates of birth and death and
Yep,
marriages
it had
and
our records in there because we
baptisms
did a
and
lot of
all that.
christening. Yeah.
When you showed up on certain Sundays, you had to sign a book and all that stuff. Like the
Yeah.
churches had our information. They don't be doing that like that no more, which is something that we should take back. We should have because there's nothing new under the sun. These people are trying to find another way to erase us. Shit, my man's Muhammad out in Philly is fighting. There's a school out there that Malcolm X used to teach at. They're really trying to remove the fact that Malcolm X was even in the building. Malcolm X? You know how
Girl,
important Malcolm
they
X
had a
is?
whole holiday for
How
Malcolm
dare
X
you?
in the 90s. We don't even have a Malcolm X holiday anymore. Malcolm X is not recognized. It's a part of
That's
our Black
ghetto.
history. They don't talk about Malcolm X.
Because they
They
don't
don't.
want us to get all riled up.
Yeah,
That's like
being
they don't talk
radical
about
against
Tupac.
white supremacy. They don't want that.
They
They
don't be
want
talking about
peaceful,
Tupac enough
docile,
either.
easily controlled and manipulated and indoctrinated niggas. They don't want no niggas who rebel. That's why they ain't teach us about Marcus Garvey and shit.
Marcus
What?
Garvey story pissed me off. My dad sent me a really good documentary about him too. The way
Yeah,
he died made me sad. And the
he was
way
assassinated too. It's always niggas killing us.
what had happened was niggas thought he was dead. Same shit that just happened to Trump. He was gone for a few days. People thought he died, so they wrote an article. And by that time, he was on some Dr. Umar shit. Like he was getting people, he was raising money, but he was bad with money. So he was spending the money, and he wasn't putting the money to where it was. So black people started getting mad at him. On top of the fact that he was telling everybody it was from Africa, and you know that was still like what was that like the what year was that? Because my brain want to say it was like the late 1800s.
But Marcus Garvey,
Mm. Yeah, it was. He was born in 1887. So
yeah.
you figure during that period of time, you got Marcus Garvey, you got Noble Drew Ali telling everybody they from Morocco somewhere, and then you got who was the top three? Muhammad, right? Then you had
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad with the Islam. That was late 1800s was a wild time. You had them three by the early 1900s. You had them three pulling people in three different directions. So yeah, he read a news article of how people were reacting to the fact that the thought of him dying, and everybody was happy, and he had a heart attack.
In England.
Who, Marcus?
Yep.
Dang, that's crazy work. Also, now realizing because I'm into gematria, knowing that nigga's name is Marcus, every woman should have never married him. Well, he got
I was
married
gonna
like
say
once,
he
right?
definitely wasn't. Shit, with women.
He was.
Marcus are not
We
like
don't like Marks. We don't like Marcuses.
they're not
He looked
really
like a Mark.
they're not good for
He looked
women.
like my niece dad. That's what he looked like. And that nigga named Mark.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, it's hilarious.
black nationalism activists.
Ooh, Haile Selassie was also around that period of time too. Oh man, the late 1800s was a good time to be alive. I
Oh
would go back
yeah,
to
because
that
he was
era.
supposed to be Jesus that came back. I'm like, how?
They said the same thing about Noble Drew Ali. Elijah Muhammad, that's Islam. But yeah, Noble Drew Ali and Haile Selassie is supposed to be Jesus reincarnated. That's why they be going so hard for Noble Drew Ali. So like, bro, relax. Y'all doing the same energy that they was giving Jesus, and none of y'all is adhering to the message. Y'all too busy praising the messenger, and that's ugly work. Y'all over there arguing and bickering and tearing each other down and laughing. That's why
What?
nobody want to join this shit. Y'all
I
weird.
thought that man died long time ago. This man died in
Mm-mm.
1975, girl. It wasn't even that man was still walking around with lions and shit in 1974.
So, he died the same year as I think all of them died around the same time, except for Marcus. Marcus
What?
died the
Bob
earliest.
Marley? What? So you mean so? Did Bob Marley ever get to shake this man's hand?
Might
Cause
have.
Bob Marley ain't died until the 80s.
Elijah Muhammad also died in 1975.
Mm.
Bob Marley died in 1981. So yeah, he probably did. And they all he was born in 1945. So he was a
Yeah.
born Marcus Garvey died in 1940. And
Yeah.
so
So
Bob
he
Marley
died.
was born 5 years after that.
Hmm.
Dang, early 1800s was a good time to be alive. It was a lot of really important people being born.
Yeah.
That's
It
that's really
was.
cool. I would like to come back at like 19. Let me come back at like 1910. Sound like a good time. Start
It
getting into
was a
some
great
swing
time.
music, swing jazz music, living my best life.
But I just don't. What I don't understand was the of how they believe that he was Jesus again, though.
Because everybody want to see Jesus reincarnated. That's probably where that came from.
But it ain't like Selassie walked around and did like miracles like how Jesus did. Like you got a comparison of the two. Like
None of them did. They were just creating nations. They learned about nationality and creating nations. And so, in order to get people to do what you want them to do, you gotta get them to believe in something. So you gotta believe that I'm the prophet. You gotta believe that Jesus, God created me and I'm Jesus reincarnated. And you gotta play on people.
the more and more that a country is suffering, the more and more radical they are in religion.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Because he was coming with the Muslim identity that they had before slavery took it away. Because Christians and Muslims were also at war with each other. So you got that's probably why I'm echoing. Niggas was probably listening. We talking about some crazy stuff. I just thought about that. Um,
Hmm.
so, but people don't realize that Muslim energy come from slavery too.
Yeah, indeed. Muslim, Hebrew, Christian, all of them, because all of them believe that they were a special people above one above the other. All of them were chosen by God.
Even the Prophet Muhammad had slaves. Explain that one, guys.
I mean, are we supposed to have? Are we supposed to be owning people? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to be owning?
Their books say they can. They make sure they wrote it in their laws, their Hammurabi code.
Yeah. So maybe we're supposed to be owning niggas then. Maybe we're doing shit all wrong.
I always wanted a couple slaves, but I will be a good owner.
I just want to be a dictator. Everybody's considered a slave.
I always wanted to run for president, and I always said, like, bro, just let me fix it. I promise you, I'm gonna fix it real quick, and then I don't even gotta be a dictator because that's a lifelong commitment, and I'm always changing my mind. Not very decisive. I
I mean,
might
I'm
get
definitely
tired
gonna
of
have
this
a
after like 10
gnocracy,
years.
When my period's on today, like it's definitely gonna be a gnocracy. So, all right, sunshine, my cycle is on. You have to take over for this week.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have my appointed cabinet, but it's not gonna be a democracy. Like we're gonna vote on things, not the people, because you gotta remember, majority of these people got an eighth grade reading capacity. They have no knowledge of how politics work. When they go outside and they be marching with the signs, they don't even know who to talk to.
That's why I said gnocracy. It's
Oh
gonna be a
yeah,
bunch of women in the cabinet. So it'll be
yeah, I'm
me,
here
you.
for it.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have Sagittarius in it. We gotta think about it. She's kind
We
of
got
polluted.
yeah, we gotta think about it. She a wild card. We love her though.
Yeah,
We're gonna make sure that she's well taken care of. We're gonna get her a
yeah,
couple slaves.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna have a couple slaves, and yeah, I don't know. She might try to overthrow us or some shit. Never know.
Right. She'd be
She
mad
gonna
that
tell
one
of us,
time.
and
She
we
gonna
trying
start killing people. She gonna make niggas revolt on us and stuff like, wait, wait, wait,
to.
time out.
No rash decisions right now. Hold up.
Sagittarius was in town and she was mad and she started getting people decapitated. Now we all dealing with a revolt at our doors. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
We gotta find something to tell them.
She gonna be the what's her name that made the flag, Bessie?
Oh fuck. The white chick or the black chick? Because it was two of them, right?
The one that made the better one.
I don't know. I think that was the black chick then. I think she did it first. I think the white chick is on the back of a coin of $1 or something, ain't she?
Well, that's rude.
You know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I think she the same bitch that made the fucking KKK goddamn hoods and damn clothes as well.
Absolutely. And they stole that from the black supremacists.
I think
Crazy work. Shout outs to Kanye. I love you. Hurry up and find me. I hate it here.
you still want Kanye at this point.
Yes, he's a genius. You just gotta leave them white women alone. Leave the white women alone and leave the drugs alone. And I'm here for you.
Child, just you'll be waiting on his son. Just grab the son. I think
His
that's
son
hoping
is
you just take
crazy.
to mold him. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
how old is the son
like
right now? The
five.
son about like what 8 maybe.
That's wild. No, I don't want to wait for the son. I want the daddy.
You know the children always come out a little better though.
He's such a smart man. He
He's
just needs
smart.
a little emotional intelligence.
See, that's not gonna
The
work.
energy awareness coach. We go together.
Yeah, they ain't gonna work, sis. That's too much. That's too much work. That's too much fixer upper in the nigga.
I love a good project.
I
Look at
do
my
too,
track
but
record.
I don't wanna. I don't know. I just dumped the nigga again at night. So
Oh,
yeah,
the angels will fall.
I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to. I don't want to project. I, I don't want a project, bitch.
Give me a project,
I
Nick.
don't want that. I want somebody to give a fuck.
I like smart thugs.
I don't want to have to raise these niggas.
He already on my type time though. He got Austria living. He's starting a monastery school. He got the Sunday service. I got affirmation music. I got land. I homeschool. You know, like he already know he a god. He already know about the Moors. He know about the black supremacists
But he
and the
loves
black
white bitches.
Confederates. Yeah, but you gotta listen to the Yeezus album. He's like King Kong, and he's
Girl,
just
the
parading
white
around
woman
with
is
these
reaping
little.
all of his benefits and riding his coattail and his meal and getting his meal tickets because he glorifies white women, even
I'm light
reproduced
skinned.
with them. He does not have a black woman on his arm after he even left a white woman. And now that he has
They're his
mixed
handler.
children, you know.
I refuse to believe in my heart he's just willingly in these relationships with these white women.
Oh, so they brainwashed him.
Yeah,
He
they got one thing
sacrificed
on
his
me.
mama.
Yeah, that was crazy work.
Yeah, you can't trust that nigga.
But I had a thought about that. What if you don't necessarily like intentionally sacrifice people, but that's just the way the universe works? Like when you want something real big,
Oh,
you have to lose
then your
something
mama
real
just
big.
oh, okay. Then your mama just so happened to just die on the operation table getting a BBL. Okay,
Yeah, what if that's God or the
okay,
devil?
and just like Jennifer Hudson, like her whole family slaughtered.
Yeah, because she wanted something real big. Now look at her with that dumbass talk show. I hate that daggone show. She's an awful interviewer.
I don't even watch it, girl.
Please don't.
I mean, it's not like they, girl. The best the most they show from the most they display from that show, whether they reveal to us from that show is the what is it, the little dance line they do before they go out.
Yeah, that's literally the best part. Cause watching her do interviews, the way she asks the same questions over and over again, the way she act like she's so attentive to what they're saying, but then she turns around and asks the same question again, like she didn't hear anything that person was just saying. It drives me nuts. I don't think she got it all. I don't think she got all her marbles like she was in like the sped class or something.
I used to like her music. I think she need to get back to doing that. Oh.
Yeah, I'm here for the music. I even like her as an actress. I think she's a really good actress. I don't like to
Yeah, I
watch
think
her on talk shows.
everybody want a damn talk show, huh? Well,
Uh, well, she sacrificed her whole family, so she can have it. I guess I'll never be a superstar.
I mean, you are a superstar.
I'm gonna try to sacrifice people I don't care about, and then the devil gonna know, like, bitch, I know you don't give a fuck about this family member.
Oh damn.
I know, but like, take them.
I don't know. I'm thinking about well. First of all, I think we're probably done with our episode. I think we discussed everything we need to discuss.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you know, when the Maroons created a safe space for the runaway slaves, this is the last little bit I get. The Mexicans, you know, they had a treaty with the Americans and they was trying to keep peace. So you know, the United States wanted their slaves back and they like, yo, the Maroons you got down there, they keeping the slaves, we want our slaves. So they moved the Maroons and the Seminoles to Hacienda Nacimiento. I've heard of that before. That's in the interior of Rio San Juan, and the Maroons and the Muskogos settled there, and they actually did way better there once again than the Seminoles that could not, you know, cultivate that land because you know that's like how Arizona is over there. And the Seminoles returned to the Indian Territory in 1861. The Muskogos divided into three groups by the 1860s. You got the Parnas, you got the Nacimientos, which the U.S. aligned with in 1878 and employed them as Indian scouts and fighters in the West Texas. This is where we get the Buffalo Soldiers and the some of the cowboys that were working for the white people. And then you got the Matamoros, which the U.S. disbanded them in 1912, and those Maroons ended up moving to Oklahoma. And then when did Tulsa happen?
Mm, let me see. I want. Can I swipe up without leaving the podcast?
Girl, I was so scared when I did it.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oklahoma
Good.
City had a bombing in 1995? What? I didn't know that.
You said what?
Oklahoma City had a bombing in 1995?
Yeah, Timothy McVeigh or some shit, or Al
Yeah.
Bundy or somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Timothy McVeigh. He rented a Ryder truck in front of the federal building. That's crazy word. But that's not the one I was looking for.
1917.
1917? That was
Yep.
only 5 years later, girl.
The Black Massacre.
That wasn't that long ago. So they moved
They got
so they moved the
1917, then they
Indian
got
Territory.
1921.
Yeah, I seen 1921 everywhere, but even then, that's not that long off. So they moved everybody to the Indian Territory in Oklahoma, and then they started bombing Oklahoma. That's
Yeah.
crazy work.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm.
Seems like
Then
only
they
the
wonder
black
why
people
nobody want to
suffer.
live on reservations no more, cause y'all play too much.
The reservations aren't kept up pretty well neither. They are not funded by the state or the federal government, I don't believe, because it's the slums.
Yeah, so that was another conversation. So I got into my notes with I think it was Yale.edu and a couple other EBSCO and JSTOR. So the issue here that started with the Black Seminoles was once, you know, they signed that treaty with the US government, the fight with the US government, then it was like when they started doing the Indian treaties or whatever, they were wondering like, okay, are we going to consider these people Indian? This one started getting called black and a whole bunch of other shit because now it's like, oh well, they couldn't afford to give all them people stuff. They just got done fighting how many wars and battles? They was fighting the British, the Spanish, the French. Who else? The Scottish, the Dutch. They was over there fighting everybody, and then we still had to fight the natives and the blacks on the land. So by then they didn't have no bread, they didn't have no manpower, they ain't got nothing. They still ain't got nothing. They still haven't fully recovered to give anybody anything.
And that was the point of it all. The point of all is forcing these people onto reservations was to take away removal of their power, their structure, their organizations, and their
Mhm.
resources. So
Mhm.
mission accomplished. But you couldn't just get me and my damn family, my whole clan, to just move the fuck, get the fuck up and down, move. Why we didn't fight? Why wasn't there a war then? With
They
that,
know that we like they know we have the capacity. They can move us anywhere and we can cultivate the land. Like they moved niggas to the desert of Mexico in Texas and they were still able to cultivate the land. The Seminoles couldn't even do it. And what was the last one we did? The Navajos had to learn from the Spanish. Okay, let's come to that conversation. Now knowing having that mindset that the Spanish that we chatting about is Moors,
mm-hmm,
that makes sense that they had to get taught how to cultivate the land from the Spanish.
from the Spanish. The
It'd
Navajos
be
were around
the
around the same
changing
time,
title for
right?
me.
Okay, so that's who the black Seminoles were in Mexico or whatever, or those parts,
That's
because
who they was
they
fighting.
knew
That's
how
who
to
they was
tend the
buffalo
land.
soldiers for. Was the Apaches and the
Yeah.
Comanches and Navajos.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So they had us fighting each other again.
Yes,
Oh, it's so ghetto here.
it is.
That
Always
I
us
really
fighting each other.
right, and don't stop. It won't end. And it's just like, and now I see where that mindset come from. Like once you start uplifting the woman, you'll have your civilization back, and that's the literally the one fucking thing they won't do.
Niggas don't want to do that shit. They don't even like women.
They play pretend, they'll cosplay, they'll be like, "Peace queen, peace goddess." They know all the
Yeah,
things to say,
yeah, they'll
but
do
they
all
won't
that
get their
shit.
hands dirty and actually do what needs to be done for the woman to have her space back to be able to, like, nurture and cultivate like she once was, because it was the woman that was doing, the majority of everything because she was in her feminine
Masculine.
energy to do so.
Mhm. I want to say we're in
Now
our
they make fun
masculine
of
energy
that.
now. When we're supporting our families, we are definitely in our masculine energy. When it's only us solely taking care of our families, we're in our masculine energy. And we
Mhm.
cannot allow a man to come in and love us properly or whatever, because we have to show him how to fucking love us. They not even fucking knowing. They act like they have no
It's
fucking
cute.
clue, even though they have daddies. And the daddies grow up with this fucking mindset, because they dusty ass daddy raised them too, with the same dusty ass mindset.
And it all came from Christianity.
Hmm.
Them damn Christians. But it's like, I got something for y'all. Y'all women is free. Y'all out here gyrating and twerking in the circle and having fun and having unprotected experimental sex before marriage. And the women and the men are wearing skirts with the women, and everybody's wearing fancy colors, and the women are into politics. They did not want they did not want the women of this land to influence their European women either, because the European women were slaves. Y'all slaves too, white women.
Which
That's why they
European
don't want
women?
us to unite with white women, because we're gonna teach the white women how to rebel. And we do. I'm sure everybody got a couple Beckys in their community that grew up there, and you see her mannerisms compared to ones that don't. And that's exactly what we was gonna have running around here, and they could not have that.
Yeah, but they still uplift them more and support them. They're more supported than we are, though. Too.
Yeah, that's their favorite slaves.
Mhm.
Just like the light skinned, straight nose, straight hair
Girl,
natives is
that
their
speaker
favorite
scared the
slaves
shit out of
too.
me.
They
Oh, I
still
thought it
don't
was
like
her.
them.
Oh, no, they love them. They love them. They love them over us. Low
Oh
battery.
yeah.
Please charge.
Like I don't like any of y'all, but I like you a little bit more than the rest of them
Mm-hmm.
niggas. And Negresses is a crazy. I watched a
Aggressive.
movie the other day. It's a TV show about this guy time traveling, and for some odd reason, they time travel back to slavery time. And this little white boy and his mom kept calling them a negress, and I was. Lord. Like, y'all felt comfortable saying that? That's not even a cool word to say. It
Nigger.
sounds dumb. Negress.
Them negroids.
Crazy word. The insults of the uneducated.
Oh, they educated all right because they know about that fucking word.
They demons. That's all they know how to do is demonic shit. Little demons coming through with their little demonic Bible.
I wish this man would stop texting me. I'm just going to delete my whole WhatsApp.
Ring, ring. Let the phone stop. Having WhatsApp is crazy. There's no good energy to attract on WhatsApp. Ain't nothing about nothing. The only time you should have WhatsApp is if you are going on a trip and you want to make sure your kids and your mama and daddy can reach you. Once you get back to American soil, delete that shit. There is no reason to have WhatsApp in your phone unless you like dusty energy.
Yeah, give me a man who could afford to talk to me on the phone.
Right. I refuse. I be cheesing ear to ear to tell somebody I ain't got no WhatsApp. I don't have that. Sorry, sir. You can't talk to me. Leave me alone.
Yeah, niggas be pretending.
And all they want to do is ask you for some money and waste your time. You don't got
I
nothing else to do.
I ain't got no money for no. I ain't got no money for them.
I ain't got no money for nobody.
I just posted up on my story. I don't have. I don't. I ain't bringing nothing to the table, but thank you. And I love you, baby, so much.
Yep, that's why I got smiles and gracia.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's all
all.
sunshine got for you.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Find you somebody else. Find you somebody else who's gonna wire you, send you money. Cause I'm not sending nothing. I'm not gonna reach down in my purse and
And
pay
pay
nobody's
your
way.
way.
Okay. If you a man, you can forget about it. Or what if I fall on hard times? That's after you have taken care of me well.
Yeah, you gotta
Don't come to
earn
me in the
that.
beginning of a relationship talking about what if I fall on hard times. Bitch, you sound like you're on hard times now and I don't need you.
Right. So we supposed to build together.
No,
Listen,
no,
my life is hard enough already. I
no.
know.
I don't want no goddamn let's build a life together. No, you build it.
Men eat a lot. Men eat a lot. They want a lot. They're expensive. They like technology that's very expensive. They like shoes that are expensive. But do you know how much boxers cost? Ridiculous price, okay? I can't afford a man that wants to build unless he's going to my land that I already owned and building me a motherfucking temple. That's the only building I'm interested in doing at this
I hate
moment.
when a motherfucker asks me, did I eat? And I be like, no. And you be
And
like,
he'd be
so
like,
what
"So
you
what
gonna
you want
do?
to eat?"
Like you gonna send the fucking money or what? You gonna feed me or what?
I'm about to block you. That's what I'm about to do.
God, send me a generous man who
Moral
has
of the
the
story
money.
is, hey guys, we got to get back to this matrilineal society if y'all want things to be right again. It's a lot of stuff y'all need to unlearn.
That's why
Y'all
these
need to,
women are bed winching right now with these rich ass white men. They're bed winching with these rich ass white men, and they are happy doing it.
yeah. It makes me sad. It's mostly African women though.
They are. They. Yeah, it's the darkies.
It don't even be dark skinned women. It be bleached or light skinned Africans too. Be right with the white man. They keep making it seem like it's American women. It ain't that many of us. You got a specific kind of white woman, black woman that'll date a white man, and we know it when we see her. Like, oh, okay, you
Hmm.
seem like the type.
Yeah,
But out over there, it's anybody can get it. They all with it.
they love their white man.
Because they got this mindset in their head about the American life and being an American girl and being with an American. And when they think of American, they think of a white man. The rest of us is slaves.
The chick that I sent you, she had a video today about living off her man's white privilege or whatever, and he was like, "Well, I didn't even know it was like that." She was like, "Yeah, you do." She's like, "I can go and ask for something and I won't get it, but you can go and ask for it and demand this or whatever, and get wine tasting. So you could tell them you want to, oh, what kind of wine is that, and you want to taste it, and they'll give it to you." I'm thinking that it's improper etiquette or whatever if I ask or whatever. Like, girl, That's not white privilege. That's you don't know how to demand shit. You don't know how to walk with demands and shit like that in a setting of full of rich bitches. Okay? Because I know damn well before I tasted
Ooh, did they finally cut us off? They said that's enough of that. I think they cut us off. I think they said they heard enough. They had enough.
when.
Oh, because I didn't hear you after a while.
Oh, oh, I was just saying. I know you fucking lying because some people have like 5 hours worth of podcast on here.
Especially Jose Sanchez, he be going in for hours upon hours.
Yeah, we just get a little ADHD, you know what I'm saying? Drift off on the other subjects.
We ain't just thought too bad. It was all relevant.
Yeah, it was. Now where was I? Oh yeah, you in a rich bitch setting, where you're about to order this $14,000 um um 100-year-old aged damn wine, and you think you can't get a sample? You think they ain't got other bottles of that? So like, you didn't think it was proper etiquette to ask for something like that, girl. You haven't learned your privileges as a rich bitch yet. You haven't developed that attitude. But it's kind of like she praises like him having white privilege or whatever. Like, yeah, I get to write off your white privilege. Like, yeah, you have it so much better, and I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
a fantasy. It's not love. It's a fetish and a fantasy. It's different.
She was like, I like black men. They don't like me. Whatever. I don't date black men. Blah 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 blah. Like, can we just stop saying it as a whole? Because black, that's what, and black men gonna say us as a whole. They keep clustering all of us together and shit, calling us gold diggers and shit. Which I don't mind being called a gold digger if you got gold to dig. But a lot of them motherfuckers ain't got no gold, okay? So don't be calling me some shit if I can't go goddamn with my pickaxe in your mind, because you don't even have the mind, sir. But anyway, shit. I'll be goddamn minor 49er if you had some gold for me today.
But the thing with me is I'm a nurturer. So if you give me some gold, I'm gonna flip that joint.
These
Like
niggas don't
you're
want nurturing. Girl, I literally asked a nigga, how is it that I can make your day better? What is it that you need from me for today that'll assist you, that I can that'll make your day go smoother, basically. You know what this nigga said?
mm.
I don't know. You
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. You don't know what you want from a woman. You can't be for real. You
No.
don't know any way that I can assist you with your day. You could have said, just be right here with me, babe. Or just stay here with me. Just talk to me. You know nothing. And you were raised by a woman and a man.
Well, that concludes this episode. I was really excited about this one because I got really passionate about the research, and I hope that these further episodes that we have to come will uncover more of the titles and things to these tribes, and we'll start to see the patterns. Because one thing about a Virgo, we gonna see a pattern. I don't know about
Yeah.
everybody else. Everybody else would just let stuff fly and pass by them, and they be like,
Mm-mm.
"What?"
Nope. I see that shit. I smelt it before it was coming.
I'm gonna catch that pattern, and I definitely see it with the names of keep saying Spanish. Definitely, that's like a reoccurring character, like Spider Man keep jumping in everybody's storyline and shit.
Yeah. Because the Spanish, they definitely was down there in Florida, Louisiana Purchase, all that, Louisiana and shit like that, and the French too. Now that's another hidden one. The French were there too.
Hmm.
Oh, my boo
Oh,
thing
and
ain't
just to let y'all
online.
know that they was over here speaking Creole. It was like a mix of Creole, English, and Gullah language. Which takes me to the next episode that we're gonna do is the Gullah Geechee natives, which is very fun.
Yay!
Yep, we got that episode next.
When is that episode again? Because we're
Next
skipping.
Thursday, girl. Wait. Oh. Yeah, next Thursday.
I'm on vacation next
You on
Thursday.
vacation?
Next Thursday.
Oh, I didn't know you're still going on vacation. Well, I gotta fix that.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. Not to the
Oh,
location, but I will be on vacation.
oh, respect, respect. Okay, so
Yeah.
oh no, I got it. I got it for 9:25.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
did
definitely
skip
be
it.
on vacation, regardless of the location. Okay.
I just overlooked it. That's all.
Oh. Okay.
But it
Okay.
does say 9:25 up there, so that's when we'll be back. We're gonna take a little breaky break. We got a couple of Virgo birthdays coming up.
Yeah, we do. We do. Mine's on the 13th. Hers on the 19th.
So we're gonna skip the next two, well, the next Thursday, Thursday after that, and so we'll be back on the 25th, and then we got the Sweet Tribe, the Yamasi Warriors, the Choctaw, the Creeks after that, then the Lenapes, then the Honorable Tribal Mentions. Then we gonna get into the Moors, and then the bonus episode we're gonna get into the Colonial Formation. And I bet by the end of the season we gonna be out here debating with the best of
Yeah, for sure.
them.
I would like to have a debate on here one day. A debate party. That'd be nice. I mean, not a debate party, but you know what I
Oh, yeah. I don't really like the debate. I do see people don't like to be questioned on their knowledge and stuff like that, their intellect on things. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is.
mean. Well, with my Saturn being in Sagittarius, that definitely is a thing for me, being questioned or challenged with my knowledge.
Mm,
Yeah. So in a way, like it used to trigger me, but now it doesn't because I built up more confidence in myself over the last years about my
mhm.
knowledge.
Same.
It
That's
doesn't
what I
bother
really
me.
like about these seasons that we do. It helps
Yeah.
build more confidence with a lot of confirmation and then new information.
Yes. Indeed. Uh, well, this was another episode of Virgo Virgin Talk. We enjoyed.
Yeah, we did. Another great one for the books. I hope that the NSA, the FBI, and the CIA, that
King David, you
Saturn.
are late.
Hey, King David. Not I missed it. Yeah, you were like a
Yeah.
whole 90
I
minutes
said
late.
8:30 Central Time.
And we was late. So you super late.
Wow. Wow. I had subscribed to King David's page as well. He talks about boxing.
Oh, nice.
Y'all was late. Damn it. Yeah, we was late. And
And then you was late, late.
yeah, you were real late. You was I don't even know what kind of nigga late that is. These are club hours, sir. This is like, yeah, you it's no free entry in the club for you tonight. Uh, you gotta pay to get in. Not too much on me now. Yeah, you gotta pay to get in. About 15 minutes. You gotta pay to get in, boo. I was about to go back on stream though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm probably gonna find something to watch with my clones. I will chat with y'all later. This was a great one.
It was a great one.
See you guys
Later.
in a couple weeks. Peace, peace.
Peace, peace. I'll see you later, David.